How did you come up with your username? A funny conversation with a close friend in grad school. We were drunk, stressed about exams. I made a full hat, put on my old chem lab goggles and grabbed my shotgun. Told her if I failed this exam, I can chase Yetis. She sadly passed away during our third year and never got to see the good stuff in life. I still keep the name and my license plate has it for her. She was so beautiful. Were cool. Liked Lego Ninjago. Liked Trick Yoga and cereal. Taught a play on words of ninjas doing tricks. Tricks would be clever because it was. And just having an X was a sign of extreme cool. Basically, I was a clever child obsessing over silly things. Though my interest in no-hod did grow to a partial study of the way of the shinobi. I struggle with my self-identity and think of my mind as a kaleidoscope of sorts. I love shit like Cage the elephant named Cage, and one of my nicknames in middle school was Kitten D. Pickle a pickle named Kitten. So kaleidoscope, I'm a scope gunman named Calais. 404 comes from error for 04 cause in my struggles I just tend to shut down, and whatnot lol. My is slightly depressing actually. Ashes and rainbows. Rainbows, I love rainbows firstly, but the rainbow represents the fact I'm bubbly and quirky with a unique personal aesthetic. Ashes, I'm severely depressed and have trauma, mainly hate towards my personal aesthetic and personality that causes that depression. So I'm a rainbow slowly turning to ashes. Half a line from the lyrics in a Sheryl Crow song, 10 years living in a paper bag. Feed that baby. He's a flipped-out cat. He's a platinum canary. Drinking Falstaff beer, Mercedes rule, and a rented lear. Bottom feeder insincere. Profit low fee pioneer. Sell the house and go to school. Pretty young girlfriend, daddy's jewel. Got the username from a YouTube machinima series called Bite Me. It's about a couple of friends who use Dead Rising to logic to survive a zombie outbreak happening somewhere in California. Main character was playing the game on his Xbox 360 with his friends and his gamer tiggers. Splatter King 13. So I took that as a username. Just say it slowly. If you remember the Monty Python skit where they were making a conversation using single letters. Look down further in the post. I have no idea why I chose it though. Extra OB. Extra OB. Extra OB. In a German you any ham and eggs. 9 I have 9 eggs and I have no eggs. I needed a rest from gaming, and my excuse for not playing another round with my very noob friends was sorry guys I just finished dinner. Gotta go wash the plate. And while this moment is going to be forever remembered in our friend group, and we often joke about it when we wanna pass doing something with the rest. My high school mascot was the Yellow Jacket. Every year, 12 senior girls were chosen to be bees. They were basically school mascots. My senior year I was chosen to be a bee. I've used my username for years for just about everything. So yeah, my username is because I was a bee and graduated in 1986. And I have a book out in May called Happy Death Club available in all good bookshops. And we'll be doing a national book tour soon, taking about why we need to break taboos around death and grief. Felt like a good thing to use as my username. This is not really my username. Miami is my most used name, and it's not because the city Miami of USA. In fact, I don't live in the USA. It was inspired by a plastic surgery doctor named Dr. Miami, which was in a rap song I used to listen when I was a kid, then I simply liked the name. I've always been amused at the story of CBS sports commentator Jim Nantz's obsession with toast. He carries around a picture in his wallet of what he believes to be the perfect level of toast, and he shows it to the waitstaff whenever he's ordering breakfast at a restaurant. A movie and a rock. To random categories I came up with after deciding on only 2 categories. Previously it was a name I created for a friend who passed. Before that it was a warped copy of someone else's name, etc. First one was a name thought up as an online avatar. Thirst for letters came from a competition I participated in Berserker. I was trying to think of something random and why that came into my mind. I started yawning, and I was gonna go with bear yawn, but then the image of a yak came in my mind and I typed in AK. I was 13 and trying to think of a good name. So I was laying on my bed, just humming some song and thinking about usernames. HMHMN. Dididi. Dibbidi, oh wait. Dibbidi. Dibbidi. Then it formed into Dibbidi. Been shortening it to just Dib for years now. My Steam names were gaming quotes. And I had Trace's Cheers love line for a bit. And I met some new friends who called me Love. When swapped to a new name, they called me Love still, so I just kept it. And I do like hearts. And the Marza is just my long name shorten. I'm a carpenter. When I was an apprentice, my boss used to call me lots of things when I'd make a mistake. Sex fingers, would butcher, etc. One day I thought he was giving me a compliment. He said, wow, that is some next level quality. Carpentry he wasn't. When I was a teenager, I liked the idea of being a protector. 16 is my favorite number. And I was born in 91. Halo may have also inspired it, killed by the Guardians. I didn't actually plan to put 69 in my username. And I don't mean 1991. Just 91. Sometimes the bicycle swings hard for peeps with penises, and I like when people want me to see them instead of just scrolling through my feed. I mean, I also like to see them in my feed. But someone taking that extra step to show me is nice. In Russian it means me in the dream, but Snija is dream if I could write based on Russian grammar and pronounce ya as letter. And Snija Snejana is my name if it was pronounced different way ya as, so it's like a pun. Final Fantasy XII. It's like a male-dominant race which acts like a counterpart to Vera's bunny ears. Mostly female. I really liked the design back in the day when I played FFXI. I love Akihiko Yoshida's art style ever since. When I got my first Xbox 360, I just wanted a really solid gamer tag to go with it. I remember being stuck on the registration screen for a couple of hours while I was brainstorming different ones. I've stuck with it ever since. My house was entirely white for most of my life. No personality at all. So I wrote I am surrendered by white walls in my diary once. I don't know why they're stuck with me. But the whole sentence was too big. And here we are. I've run out of my mother's hand moisturizer. And she won't go to the shops to get me some more. Edit. While I'm here, am I this whole expecting my mother to buy more hand moisturizer so I can masturbate more comfortably? My husband did. He calls me something girl randomly, like Pepsi Girl or whatever. I asked him for a name for Reddit. He said Kiwi Girl, or maybe that's what he called me that day. I don't remember, and 80 is my birth year. Mirabo was a reference to the character Myra B. Mirabo in the original Japanese in Pokémon Colosseum and XD. My avatar's hair is also based on him. 702 is my area code. It would take way too long to explain. S. With codenames Massacre and Reaper, who have a love-hate relationship, and like they're constantly fighting. Then they agree on some things and become friends. So I thought I'd combine the two names. Original COD player. I would pull a grenade and take out the other team, as well as myself. Being Japanese helps too. 8 years of playing with 3 people who I had yet to meet. Grey Bar Ghost. I miss you. Well, yeah, see. It was 2020. I don't remember the exact time I made my username, but maybe it was after spending 3 hours trying to find enough toilet paper to last a family of -1 for a few days. It's auto-generated. I didn't know I was going to use this app, just made this cause it didn't let me. Watch a gore video on Chrome, wanted me to install the app, so just made it in hurry. Now hey if anyone watches trash TV like the Bachelor franchise with this clever editing. On 9A7 Goo JFH. The man in the shack is a character from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He unknowingly is making all of the most important decisions for trillions of people across the galaxy. I used to play poker and often think about expected value on bets. Also as a slight dig at that Wall Street bets guy. Dip fucking Val. No deep value for me, just what's expected. Mine is just my name lol. I created my original YouTube account back in 2011, and one of the username suggestions was Vittorio582. I use it for everything cause it's easy to remember. Mine display name is random, but for some reason it doesn't show up. But anyways, it was for a coding website, and I tried to put random dude, then I shorted it to random, then random. I was trying to think of two words that were pleasant and easy to pronounce and to remember, yet extremely unlikely to have been combined by anyone else searching for a username. In the 90s I had a pager. The phone number was 5639-52. This spelled out Joe Waller. I was inspired by the skateboard company Togneto, who created their name the same way. An early Brenda Hillman book of poems about Gnostic concepts of the separate soul in search of its divine origins. I really loved it. And its companion, Death Tractates, auto-generated, but look at that date. My gamer tag pierced to one was because first letter of my first name, and my last name, and 21 is. When I thought I would be settled, I was mixing part of my name and the words be ready, then added the number 23 for no particular reason. I had to change it because PPL would mistake it as Brady. I used a random word generator to pick out a bunch of words, and then I assigned them each a number, and used a random number generator to narrow it down to 2 words. Outlet store called Tanga Outlets I saw once. Don't know why I added the DA in the middle, but I have never encountered the username already taken issue all. I watched some of these old Japanese Mandem ads of Charles Bronson and thought his hair was magnificent in them. It's a Hitchhiker's Guide reference that I started using as a handle 20 odd years ago. Try and use just janks where I can. However, it's generally not available. I grew up mainly listening to soul music. When I was growing up, people I knew kept calling me Soul Boy, so I thought I'd name myself Soulful. Born in 53.